Next story, guys. 1970s things that kids no longer do today. Now, we react to a lot of things, how it was growing up in the 1970s. So now we're gonna check out what are some things that kids no longer do nowadays, but they did in 1970s. You know, I feel like back in these times, life was more pure. Life was more, genuine. Everything was just happening for the first time. People didn't really know how to live. It wasn't that much corruption and stuff. So I feel like life was just more pure, So if you want more of these nostalgic 1970s, 1980s, 1990s little videos like these, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like on this video. Hit the like button, hit that sub button.
The 70s. It was a decade of muscle cars, bell-bottoms, rock and roll, and yes, even a little bit of disco.
Yeah.
Back then, people did things that are now frowned upon. Sure, it was a little dangerous, but it certainly was a lot of fun. In today's video, we'll take a look back at some of the things done in the 70s that are no longer acceptable.
All right. No longer acceptable.
The 1970s was a time when things were different, and I'm not just talking about fashion. There were things that we did, and yet here we are. For example, kids would play outside all day. If there was dirt on our hands or faces and we had somewhere important to go, then no problem. We didn't use antibacterial wipes or hand sanitizer.
Wow.
We had something better. Mom's spit and a handkerchief.
Oh.
And that was pretty much like 409.
Okay.
It could remove anything. And speaking of being outside, as kids we rode bikes without helmets, bike paths, or adult supervision. There weren't any elbow pads or knee pads either. We just ended up with scarred elbows and knees. It sure was fun though. Those scabs and scars were like trophies with great stories to tell about what happened. But kids back then were adventurous. When a kid got seriously injured, people generally felt sorry for the parents. They didn't blame them for letting them climb the trees. Safety standards of today weren't anywhere to be seen back then. There were trampolines,
this is the thing I said in the last video. Our parents are y'all. Y'all are our parents. Our parents are the parents who grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So if y'all had it so free, y'all was so free outside, why is it that when we grow up, now it's all supervision? Y'all the parents. If anything, it should still stay the same, right? You would think so, right? I don't know where the disconnect was. I don't know if it's like I wouldn't say social media, but I don't know if it was like, I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. So let me know in the comments because you guys, I'm pretty sure, let me know in the comments if you have kids and stuff like that. How did you raise your kids? Did you raise your kids the same way that you got raised? Let me know.
Safety nets around them. Back then, there were trampolines, but they didn't have safety nets around them. We actually loved the challenge of danger. Remember squirting down the trampoline with water and adding a little bit of Palm All and dish soap to make it extra slippery?
Yo!
That just meant extra laughs when your friends slid off of the trampoline onto the ground.
That's funny.
Heck, even going to camp back then was completely different.
I never did that before.
Your parents didn't have to fill out 20 forms of paper wanting complete medical history, including all of your allergies, insurance, and waivers in case you got hurt.
Right. Steakhouse, Miami.
School was also much different.
Jeffrey
back in
Dahmer,
the
a teacher?
70s. For the most part, we went to the closest school and not necessarily the best one. If we rode the bus and we acted up, the bus driver would yell at you. The kid actually got in trouble, not the bus driver.
Wow.
We took our lunches to school in metal lunch pails, and inside could be leftover chicken, bologna, or even tuna. Back then, there were no fridges in the classrooms, and there certainly weren't any of those ice blocks to put in your lunch pail. Yet, for some reason, we didn't get food poisoning.
Hey.
If you had a teacher that was angry all the time, then you just dealt with it. You didn't transfer out of class. Wow. You just hoped and prayed that you would have a better one next year.
Wow.
When a teacher gave you swats, you certainly didn't run home and tell your
parents.
Whoa!
Give you what? Give you SWAT? Is that a
when
paddle?
When a teacher gave you SWAT?
What in the fucking freaky ass shit is this? Now, I think I did hear about like hazing and stuff like that was like normal back then. Hold on, let me look at it real quick. I think hazing was like a normal thing. Hazing in 1970s was like legal, right? Was it like legal? 1970, hazing was deeply entrenched in campus culture across the United States. The decade saw at least 29 hazing-related college. Oh wait, no. Was legal. When was hazing legal? Right? Okay. Hazing in 1970 was not strictly legal, but it was largely ignored, tolerated, and unregulated. While there was few explicit anti-hazing laws, perpetrators could still be prosecuted under general criminal statutes like assault. Okay. So it looks like it was just like normal. You know what I'm saying? You can literally get swatted in classroom, which is actually insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never seen anything like that. All right, I've heard stories, but bro, I have never seen hazing in real and like, bro, what, bro?
You certainly didn't run home and tell your
Now
parents.
that's, hey, look, now that's something. Like, yeah, teachers too hitting your kids. Me personally, I feel like, you know, it depends on who the kid is, or it depends on what the kid is doing, right? Because sometimes the kid do need to get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. The parents nowadays don't discipline a child, right? They don't discipline a child. So what's the disconnect with that? What's the disconnect with that? Why don't people whoop their kids? People are now saying, no, I'm not whooping my kid, you know, and that's how the kid will grow up and they start disrespecting their parents, right? Because they don't respect them. They don't know that if they talk back to your parents, you're gonna get your ass beat. Okay? They don't respect their parents at all, bro. At all. You feel me? So just like that, like, I feel like sometimes a teacher could whoop their kid. Like nowadays, I know it's not gonna happen. Like, you know, parents are more like sensitive and I don't want nobody touching my kid, all that stuff. I already know it. But I do understand in some cases a kid needs his ass beat by multiple people, bro. All right, multiple people. Maybe don't, you know, hurt the kid. You know, obviously, don't ever cause harm to anyone. But you do need to get this, like, bro, you tripping. You feel me? Like, lock in, bro. Lock in.
We were all afraid that we would get it again.
You know what I'm saying? You get whooped at school, then you get whooped at home. Cause like they said back in the day, they said in the other video, everybody was like your parent. They said growing up in the 1970s, everybody was your parent. Your neighbors was your parent. Your neighbors, your neighbors' parent. Your friends' neighbors. Your neighbors who were your friends, their parents was your, like, parents, basically. You know what I'm saying? So they can whoop you. If they see you doing some dumbass shit, they can whoop your ass. Right? And then they gonna tell parents, yeah, I just whooped his ass because he did this. And they be like, oh, he did that? What? Tell him to come home. I'm gonna whoop his ass too. It was like that. It wasn't like, oh, why you just my kid? Why you just my kid? It wasn't none of that. You know what I'm saying? So the teachers was the same thing. Like, the teachers would tell you, like, yeah, bro, I just whooped his ass because he was bullshitting. He left his homework at home for the 15th time this week. He not doing none of his classwork. He's sitting here bullshitting in class. He talking back. He just acting a fool. So I whooped him. And she gonna be like, what? All right, tell him to come home. When he get home, I'm whooping his ass too. I feel like when you go back to that, bro, I feel like more people would be like, I ain't gonna lie. Never mind. Let me not say that.
Next year, when a teacher gave you swats, you certainly didn't run home and tell your parents because we were all afraid that we would get it again. For the most part, kids just avoided getting in trouble in the first place. Our parents rarely knew our teacher's name, much less how qualified they were.
Wow.
When it came time for the parent-teacher conference, kids got nervous and scared, not the teachers. If you got a bad grade on a test, then you got a talking to and not a cuddle. Back then, if a kid received an award for being Student of the Week, then it meant that they actually did something great instead of just showing up for school.
Right.
In the 70s, what happened on the playground stayed on the playground. It could be rough, but it could certainly be fun. When you did get injured, a teacher could put mercurochrome on a scraped knee without obtaining parents' permission or completing an incident report. School field trips were much easier. There was no such thing as a kid-to-parent volunteer ratio. You were just happy to get out of class and you didn't want to do anything to ruin...
Think about it. Why is it like that? Why is this parent chaperone? Why is that even a thing? Where does that even come from? I never even thought about that. That's kind of crazy.
The next trip. School breaks were always welcomed, and it wasn't about art class or summer camps. But we did try to blow off steam by getting into some sort of sport on Saturdays. Making the team was always a big deal, and it wasn't always guaranteed. If you didn't make it, then you had to try harder next time or pick a different sport. When you won the big game, you could tell tall tales about how it was done. If you had a great season and you came out on top, then you got a trophy. There were also trophies for second and third place, but not 20th. Not every kid was going to get one, and it was perfectly fine. Family vacations came before kids' sporting schedules, and that's something that seems to be disappearing from today's time. Birthday parties were fun back in the 70s, and they certainly weren't like today's parties with celery and face painting. We had hot dogs, burgers, soda, and of course cake, but there were also other things to challenge you with an element of danger. Remember having your hands tied behind your back, being blindfolded, and trying to eat a donut on a string before others could? Sometimes this was even done while you were being held upside down. Sharp things were just part of the fun at parties in the 1970s. We played pin the tail on a donkey with a sharp tack after being spun in a circle and were completely dizzy.
See, I remember seeing
And how
that.
about lawn darts? We all played the game and we didn't think about it being dangerous. And as a 10-year-old boy, it was perfectly fine to receive a pocket knife as a present. A gift like that could come in really handy and could last a lifetime. We also didn't worry about germs at parties. Nobody wrote their names on cups and we all shared them at some point.
Yeah.
We probably even offered our friend a bite of our own hot dog. If somehow we got injured and spilled blood, then there was a good chance that we were going to become blood brothers. This, of course, was long before the AIDS scare of the 1980s.
Now I see why I had AIDS. Y'all doing shit like that.
Weekends were a lot of fun. Saturday mornings were your TV time.
Right.
Just you, some cartoons, and your favorite sugary cereal.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the day belonged to Dad, so he could watch sports, a movie, or even the news later that evening.
Facts.
So now that TV time was over, it was off to your friend's house to ring the doorbell and ask if they could come out to play. Back then, it was always easy to tell where all the kids were in the neighborhood because of all the bicycles out front. For the most part, kids could do whatever they wanted as long as they stayed out of their parents' hair. The weekend was really all about your parents' social lives. It was a perfect time for a sleepover at a friend's house. Then the next weekend, it would be your turn to have your friend over.
W.
Dinner was an important time for the family to sit down together at the table and discuss the day or current events.
Right.
As soon as it was over, it was time to take out the trash and do the dishes. That was every bit as important as doing your homework.
Right.
Being tired was no excuse to be rude either. Everyone was tired.
That's facts, though.
Going to the grocery store was an experience. Kids rode in grocery carts without seat belts or padded liners. Heck, it was even fun to just have groceries piled up on top of you. It was also fun to ride on the end of the cart as your parents pushed it. The cereal aisle was super colorful and they had some really cool toys and prizes inside. Back then, grocery stores had only one kind of milk. If you wanted skim milk, then you could just be a little weirdo by drinking half a glass or adding ice to it. We certainly didn't have 30 kinds of rice, almond, and soy milk.
Big
The
Tree,
choice was
Oreos,
easy. Milk
Ruffles.
or no milk.
Let's see what type of food they had back in the day. Big Tree, National Twin Pack. What the hell is that? Streaming Yellow Yonkers, Rye Crisp. Oh, is that Rice Krispies? Apple Pie, Slim Jim. Oh, Slim Jims. Okay, so Slim Jim's been around for a minute. Fritos. Oh my God, Fritos. Potato chips. Wow. Pop Tarts. Didn't they have Pop Tarts? Oreos. That's kind of crazy. Slim Jim, Planter Cocktail Peanut, the Peanut Dude, Ruffles. Oh, okay. Oh no. This is why these wait, what the heck? This is why these been around for so long. Apple pie. What is that? All the fonts back then was like kind of hard to read.
Almond and soy milk. The choice was easy. Milk or no milk. Every grocery store had a good butcher that you got to know well. Most meat packages didn't have a sell-by or use-by date. We depended on our noses and visual inspection to see if it was still
hold on. Stop playing.
use-by date.
What?
Most meat packages didn't have a sell-by or use-by date. We depended on our noses and visual inspection to see if it was still okay to use. One thing you absolutely didn't see were kids on iPads or doing the latest TikTok dances. Kids just had to enjoy the experience. This was also true on long trips in the car. No iPads, snacks, or juice boxes needed. You just found ways to entertain yourself. Maybe you played car bingo, or maybe you pulled out the elastic out of your sock and then popped your little sister or brother. Oh, look out, they're crying. Here comes Dad's arm. Don't make him stop the car.
Dog, what the heck is this?
No matter what, kids always found something to do. If you didn't, then your parents would. Never ever say that you were bored. That meant extra chores. Back then, kids would grab scrap pieces of lumber and materials and then build their own clubhouse. None of them ever came from Amazon or big box stores.
Wow.
Every year, kids would look through Christmas catalogs and dream about what they wanted. It was always fun to circle everything you liked. Kids didn't get everything that they wanted. If you got one item from your wish list, then you had a really good result. There are literally thousands of things that kids used to do in the 70s but are no longer being done now. Most of those things are either illegal or frowned upon. Was it better or worse? I'm not quite sure, and I'll let you be the judge of that, but I'm really grateful that I got to experience the 70s firsthand. Can you think of anything that we missed, or maybe you just want to share some special memories of things you used to do?
That's crazy.
Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching.
Wow. Let me know in the comments, is there some things that they missed in the channel? Give me some insight on how it was growing up in the 1970s and stuff like that, in the 80s and 90s. I wish I could live back here, bro. I wish I could live in these days, but hey, I can't. So hey, hit the like button, hit that sub button. I love y'all. Out we go.